Good afternoon, students.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon,
Good afternoon,
dear.
ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, in our today's class, as I have discussed yesterday, or have told you or informed you that we would be doing, or we are going to understand about the different composition, about the different ways in which the compositions are written. Uh, to brief you before we go into the details of composition, so let me tell you that why we are going to talk about compositions and why they are so important for the management students, both for BBA and BCA. As per the course or as per the curriculum, you people have studied letters, how to write proper formal letters. Because of technology, how the letters transformed from paper and pen to email. We also discussed about the different messages, the different ways of writing notice, memo, agenda, minutes of meeting. We also discussed about proposal writing, and then we had discussed about report writing. Now, whenever we talk about business writing, compositions are very, very important. Whenever we say composition, please remember the root word compose. When you use the word compose, it is to prepare, to make, to draft. Why are we composing? So that people can get proper information. The instructions that we want to share could be instructed and given to the concerned people in a proper way. The information that we want to convey can reach to the audience in the right way. You all must have practiced, you all might have studied different compositions, isn't it? Now, when I say composition, generally you remember all the essays, all or the different competitions related to essay writing, in which you all must have definitely participated. Now, when I say essay writing, particularly in languages, be it Hindi or English or Sanskrit or whatsoever the language that you are proficient in, you all must have studied composition writing. Now, when we say composition writing or essay writing, we also know that it is formulated, it is made of different paragraphs. What is the meaning of paragraph? Structured sentences which are arranged in proper logical order. I repeat, when we say paragraph, or what is a paragraph? Paragraphs are proper arrangement of sentences in logical order. If there are 4 or 5 different sentences, now you cannot convey a logical information if you do not connect each sentence in a proper series. You have to arrange these sentences in proper order to deliver or to inform or to convey right information to the right audience. So when we say paragraph, it's a composition. It is made of logical arrangement of sentences. When we talk about sentence, it's again logical placement of words which convey some meaningful information. Now, these logical informations that are shared in the paragraph, when they are connected with facts and figures, with certain evidences and proof, which talks about the information that is conveyed with the different paragraphs. Say, for example, there is paragraph 1, which talks about some information, paragraph 2, talking about some other part of information. Similarly, para 3, para 4, para 5, where there are number of paragraphs, each interlinked, interconnected, and then which gives a fair understanding about the subject, we call it as composition. So whenever we say compose, in composition, we compose the information in different paragraphs so that the reader can understand the logicality between or behind sharing that particular information, between the different concepts or the information that we want to convey for the readers. So when we talk about composition, I want everybody to note this particular information down because this may be asked even as two marker through in the form of a multiple choice question that what are the different types of composition? Broadly, there are four types of composition. What are the name of four different types of composition? They are expository, descriptive, argumentative, narrative. So in today's class, we are going to discuss what is the meaning of expository, what is the meaning of descriptive, what is the meaning of argumentative, and what is the meaning of narrative composition. So when we talk about the first one, expository, focus on the root word, which is expose. When do we expose any information? Or let me frame a different question for you all. Do you know the word meaning of expose? Quickly in the chat box. I want to know from you all, do you know the word meaning of expose? Yes. So Atul Kumar, Dheeraj had again shared the meaning. Very good. To reveal, to open up. Yes. The information that was shared by Dheeraj or even by Sonam Bharadwaj, absolutely correct. When we are revealing, what do we understand by the word reveal? Yes, Shubham, to open the information, to bring it in the understanding of the other. When things are not known, later, after knowing about it, after bringing in front of you, when you know about it, that is called as expose, isn't it? So, whenever we are exposing, may not necessarily be the secrets, but there can be lots of information which are not known to us. Information that are not known later with the help of a composition which is brought in front of you, which is revealed to you all. That is called as expository composition. Now, how many of you are keen in watching National Geography, Nat Geo, or Discovery Channel? How many of you like the episodes of Man versus Mankind or Man versus Wild? So, whenever you are watching those episodes of the different concepts, now we are never exposed, isn't it? We never might have been to a jungle. We never might have been to a forest. We might never have encountered any wild animal or wildlife, isn't it? But when we see those episodes, we do come to know in which area, what kind of animals are surviving. And if we really want to survive in those tough conditions, what are the common precautions that we have to take? Isn't it? That kind of understanding, coming to know for the first time about the different concepts, that is called as expository. Now, when do we write the expository composition? Proposals. Whenever we talk about proposal writing, whenever we are discussing about proposals. When do we write proposal? When we want to share some new information with the audience. Proposals are generally the new ideas, the new thoughts. If you remember, we had already done this particular topic called as proposal writing. And under the topic proposal writing, I've very clearly stated whenever we talk about proposal, they are the ideas and the thoughts. These ideas and thoughts, when we share it with others, when we create awareness about our idea and thought to others or with others, that is called as expository. So all the proposal or many number of proposals will always apply expository way of composition. They are exposing the new information which may not be known to others. They are talking about those pieces of information which are not known to others, but after your information that you're going to share, they'll come to know about it. So keep this in your mind. Whenever we talk about expository, it is something which is not known. From there, you are bringing it to the open platform where people will come to know about it. So, a new innovation, new technology. How many of you have seen the movie Star Wars? Star Wars, the different series, Star Wars 1, Star Wars 2, Star Wars 3. How many of you have watched all the series, like the different number or the series? Now, Terminator, at least Terminators, or in Indian context, Dhoom, Dhoom 1, Dhoom 2, Dhoom 3. You all must have watched this, isn't it? Now, whenever you were watching, you have you noticed the usage of artificial intelligence? Okay, Abhishek, yes, I do agree. Harry Potter is one of the best fictional sci-fi movie, right? Have you seen the usage of artificial intelligence? Did you see the usage of graphic designing? Or did you see how they try to bring out the information? How do they share the different information? Yes, Avengers, again, one of the best movies which talks about artificial like graphic designing. If I talk about Avengers, graphic designing as well as artificial intelligence, very good. Yes, robot 2.0, correct. So whenever VFX, again, this is again very important and necessary part. So you should all know that 20 years ago or 10 years ago or 5 years ago, these were not that much aware, or the people may not be knowing about artificial intelligence. When we used to watch those movies, or when you were a kid, when you have watched those movies, you thought that this is all like a magic, isn't it? But was that really a magic? No, it was science. Were you knowing about this science? No, you were not knowing about this science. And for the first time, after watching the movie, you are exposed to the information like artificial intelligence, graphic designing, how do you mix the pictures, how the pixels can definitely create that image, that clarity of image can be generated. So you can understand now, you can correlate, you can connect your thoughts and ideas, that when we talk about exposition is something when we show up, when we present, when we share new ideas, new thoughts with the other. Particularly, the best example would be people, the one in front of whom you are trying to show, they do not know much about either the program or the product or the software or the technology or about the services. Like, say, for example, when I talk about Ola cab, how many of you know that you can book a cab? Even if you don't have your own car, even if you do not have your own taxi, but still you can book it. You can avail the usage of it and then you can pay them, isn't it? But what about those millions of people who may never have used this, who did not use the facility of Ola? Will they understand about the services that are provided by the cab service provider? Yes, when they did not use, will they be able to understand this process? No. So what we have to do? We have to expose them, isn't it? Now, sanitizers. Do you think sanitizers were available before COVID or only after COVID-19 sanitizers were used in India? What is your opinion? Did you hear the word sanitizer before COVID-19 or only after COVID-19? Yes, Abhishek, they were available before, isn't it, Sakib? Yes, Zia, they were available. But when we talk about the usage, did we use sanitizer anytime before COVID-19? No, we did not use. But nowadays, in everybody's house, you will see or you will find the sanitizer, the bottle of sanitizer, isn't it? Why? Because they all are exposed to it. That is what you are going to do whenever you write the composition on exposition. Please remember, the main theme of these kind of essays would be the information that we are sharing are absolutely new to the common public. Did you all understand the composition, the kind of topics that you can cover up under the topic or under the segment? Exposition or expository composition. Is this concept clearly understood by all? Very good. Thanks, Abhijit, for sharing that information. Thanks, Sayajya. Thanks, Harshita. Because this is very important as a management student. Whenever you people are creating something new and you are bringing it for the first time in the society, people may not accept it. then you have to convince them. And that convincing power you are going to get through writing that expository composition. The next is descriptive. When we say descriptive, we are in fact talking about something where we describe the product. How many of you go to buy, like recently, how many of you have bought the new mobile phone? Or have you bought a vehicle, maybe a bike or an automobile or some or the other gadget? Now, when you purchase these new gadgets or the new appliances or equipments, you will see the person, whosoever is selling, the salesperson, he or she will explain you about the product, isn't it? They describe about its features, they talk about the advantages, they talk about the disadvantages, they talk about the various benefits that you're going to avail by using that particular product, isn't it? So keep this in your mind that when we say descriptive, under descriptive, we describe the information about that particular topic. So whenever you are describing, please keep this in your mind. Detailed information. Description means giving or sharing the detailed information. When we share, when we deliver, when we provide the detailed information, not in brief, but in all the details. When we are sharing it at large, when we elaborate, when we express each and every particular important information in detail, then it is called as descriptive. Now, for example, when I say descriptive, the best things would be a mobile phone. Now, when you are talking about mobile phone, you know that the capacity to hold the information may vary from one phone to the other, right? It could be 2 GB, it could be 6 GB, it could be 32, 64, 128. The numbers may vary. Similarly, the camera that you may have two inbuilt camera, you may have the different features and facilities. There can be a good number of apps that you can get facilitated with, isn't it? So, and even battery backup, that is again very important. The contact numbers that you can hold, that you can store, voice clarity, picture clarity, sound clarity, there can be so many things, isn't it? When you describe about all the features, applications, along with advantages and disadvantages, that was called as descriptive composition. I hope everybody could understand the information that is shared related to descriptive. You are describing. Similarly, you can describe even the places, isn't it? When you go to visit different places, you may describe the beauty of the different place or of the place where you have visited. Now, it could be Rajgir, it could be Nalanda, it could be Gaya, it could be Kakola, it could be the different places that you have visited, isn't it? Now, the place where you visit, you may describe about the beauty, the scenic beauty, or you may describe about the infrastructure, you may talk about the facilities that are there. So you may talk a lot about it in detail when you are describing even the place, or you can also describe the person. You can describe people. When I talk about description of people, you all must have done lots of description writing when you were in class 8th, 9th, when your teacher used to write the description of the great personality, the bio data of, talking about the bio information of the different personalities like Mahatma Gandhi ji, APJ Abdul Kalam, Swami Vivekanand. There can be n number of people about whom you might have described. Sometimes you describe your family members. Sometimes you may be describing your friends. Sometimes you may be describing your brother or sister or your father or your mother or your grandparents. So whenever you describe people, person, place, product, or services, the description means giving the details of either the place or the person or the people or the product. Such kind of compositions are called as descriptive composition. I hope everybody could understand the first expository, where you are sharing new information with the common people. Description, where you are describing the details of the product. If these two concepts are clear, quickly in the chat box, ED. I want you to write down these two letters, ED. Thanks, Shubham Arman. Thanks, Sudhanshu. Thank you, Somaya. Thanks, Priya Amrita. Thanks, Aditya Kishore. I see that many of you are able to understand. So when you are reading the different articles, sometimes even in newspaper, you will be reading about it could be related to cookery, it could be related to a new restaurant, it could be related to the place, or it could be related to the holiday package. So you should understand that when you are writing articles, what kind of article it is, what kind of composition they are writing. If you are a blogger, you may also write about the different blogging information, isn't it? In the blogs you may talk about travel, you may write a travelogue, you may write the bio about the life of the people, you may talk or describe about the plant, the animals, it could be related to the different thing. So it's again descriptive. The third one is argumentative. How many of you have written a composition like usage of mobile phone in classroom, good or bad, advantages of science and technology, or science and technology, boon or bane, nuclear weapon, boon or bane. Many of you must have written during your classes 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th when you were a student of class 7th, 8th, 9th. Your teacher might have asked you to write argumentative composition where there are two different opinions. You are talking not only about advantages, but at the same time, you also describe its disadvantages. When you are talking in favor, along with favor, you also talk about the unfavorable conditions. So please remember, argumentative is such kind of composition where people may talk about for and against, pros and cons, where they talk about positive and negative opinion. So keep this in your mind that whenever we are talking about the different opinion, wherein we talk about the multiple aspects, not only one aspect. Say, for example, if you are talking about advantages, you just talk only about advantages, then you are describing. But if you're talking about advantages along with its disadvantage, that means you are giving an argumentative information. So such kind of compositions are called as argumentative. The performance of RJD in the election 2020, in the Bihar election 2020, was it good or bad? So some people may say it was extremely good when compared to the previous year's performance, like when I talk about the last election. When we compare with the last election to this election, we definitely can say that performance of RJD was good. But when we talk about the result, then the result was not clear. So you can have that argumentative opinion. People may like, people may not like. Say, for example, you have developed an app. The app may be advantageous, may be useful to a certain group of people, but may not be useful to a group of people. So people may argue. Similarly, when we talk about the product, there are already n number of products. Say, let me give you an example of mobile phone. Already in the market, there are many number of mobile phones. If you are creating a new mobile phone, if you are into manufacturing, and if you are manufacturing a new mobile phone, people may argue. They may say, is there really a need of new mobile company? Or can we have a more number of production of the existing one? So there can be different opinion. When the opinions vary, when there are different opinion in the different people or in the society, that is called as argumentative. And finally, narrative. How many of you have heard about information where you narrate? Narrate in the sense, how many of you have the habit of reading newspaper? Habit of reading newspaper. Yes, Priya Amrita, telling stories. Now, whenever you read newspaper, dear, you see that the journalist, or even when you're watching the TV news, they tell you the stories, isn't it? They tell you the different information. all such kind of information that are told, that are narrated, is a part of narrative composition. In narration, please remember, there is an incident which is again shared by the different people. Clear with everyone? So these are the four types of composition. I am going to request you all to please read and identify the different compositions that are there used by all of us. You all must know that there are commonly four types of composition. Expository, when we are exposing information. Descriptive, when we are describing the process. Argumentative, when we are arguing not only in favor but also against it. And then narrative, when we are narrating, when we are telling stories, when we are sharing information in the form of stories. All right. That's all in today's class. We are going to talk about more in tomorrow's class. So I want you all to read at least 2 to 3 compositions. What I'll do is I'll share 4 different types of compositions with you all on your classroom code and want you to read it, to understand it. And then in the next class, be very much prepared to answer my questions based on composition. All right. Thank you very much for attending today's class. I will be sharing the attendance link in your email ID. Do mark your attendance, dear. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Take care of yourself. And again, I repeat, the concept was very simple